Education Department, and also all speakers and participants of this international webinar. Welcome. The Students' Union of Early Childhood Teachers Education Department webinar series with the expert teachers with the title of Positive Technology for Families During the COVID-19 Pandemic. Teknologi yang positif bagi keluarga di masa pandemi COVID-19 dari sudut pandang akademisi dan YouTuber dari berbagai negara. This webinar brings together teacher, academia, and influencer from across countries who are responsible for delivering youth creativity, industrial work, the usage of technology in education, mental health issues, and also education system in the middle of pandemic. Webinar ini menghadirkan guru, akademia, dan influencer dari berbagai negara yang bertanggung jawab untuk membahas kreativitas anak muda, dunia industri, pengembangan teknologi dalam pembelajaran, kesehatan mental, dan sistem edukasi di masa pandemi. This webinar provides a great opportunity for prospective participants to share their experiences in dealing with education, especially for early childhood. As such, this webinar will feature presentation by internationally speakers which are cutting edge session topics. Our speakers for this webinar are Mr. Muhammad Sahinur Rahman, Assistant Professor, Department of Psychology, University of Chittagong, Bangladesh, and PhD Fellow, School of Psychology, Central China Normal University, Wuhan, China. Mr. Fadil M.Ed, a YouTuber and PhD candidate of Central China Normal University, School of Psychology, Wuhan, China. Mr. Yudil Chatim SKM M.Ed, Head of Subdivision of Administration Directorate of Partnership and Alignment of Business World and Industrial World, Directorate General of Vocational Education, Republik Indonesia Ministry of Education and Culture, Kepala Subbagian Tata Usaha Direktorat Kemitraan dan Penyelarasan Dunia Usaha dan Dunia Industri, Direktorat Jenderal Pendidikan Vokasi Kemendikbud Republik Indonesia. Mr. Dr. Browa Aziz Siddiq M.Ed, English Lecturer and Facilitator of Qoma University, Science and Technology, Kurdistan, Iraq. To start our webinar, let's say basmalah together. Untuk memulai acara pada hari ini, mari kita ucapkan basmalah bersama-sama. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. For the next agenda, we will listen to the National Anthem of Indonesia, followed by Mars Universitas Negeri Surabaya.
Indonesia bersatu, hidupkan tanahku, hidupkan
Distinguished guests, participants, ladies and gentlemen, we are now going to listen to the opening speech delivered by the head of the Department of Early Childhood Teachers Education. Acara selanjutnya adalah sambutan oleh Ketua Jurusan Pendidikan Guru Pendidikan Anak Usia Dini Universitas Negeri Surabaya. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Miss Nurul Khotimah, SPD MPD. Kepada Ibu Nurul Khotimah, dipersilahkan.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Yang terhormat Bapak Rektor, yang diwakili Bapak Wakil Rektor, Profesor Dr. Bambang Yulianto, yang terhormat Bapak Dekan beserta jajarannya. I respect all of the attendees who have attended, and especially to the organist of the event, the content of the show, which I am proud. With all let us say praise to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, who gave tuition of favor to us on this day. Yang terhormat para pembicara, Honorable all speaker, Mr. Yudil Katin, Mr. Muhammad Syahinur Rahman, Mr. Fadil MED, Mr. Broa Aziz Siddiq, and all the participants, good afternoon and my peace be upon us. Let us praise the presence of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, good the most merciful, because with His permission today we can gather here to join webinar with the theme Positive Technology for Families in the COVID Pandemic-19. Ladies and gentlemen, in 2020, our country, Indonesia, and other countries in the world are being beat by the coronavirus. To help break the chain of COVID-19 distribution, the government made the decision of carry out learning activities at home or online learning. With this webinar activity, we hope that it can be an activity effort by university to support Indonesian in facing COVID-19 and maximize the new creativity of young people during this pandemic. Hopefully, it can provide constructive input of the people of Indonesia. For additional information, this webinar has more or less 650 participants from another and home country. This webinar attended speech participants from Sabang until Merauke, speak from Sumatera, Jawa, Kalimantan, Sulawesi, and Papua from various countries of Pakistan, China, and others. PAUD department is a department that aims to produce graduate of kindergarten teacher candidate who have a noble personality and have the ability to educate. Kindergarten acts children according to their need and development and are able to adapt themselves to the development of local, national, global community life. PAUD Universitas Negeri Surabaya has approximately 400 activity students. PAUD UNESA has also achieved various achievements, including national story competition, international dan competition, campus student competition, and also student exchange at the University of Thailand and many more. We also went to profit information that next year the PGPAUD department will open international class and will facilitate international students who wants to join to continue to the PGPAUD Universitas Negeri Surabaya. Selamat berdiskusi. Enjoy your discussion. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Ms. Nurul Khatimah, SPD MPD, for the speech. Distinguished guests, participants, ladies and gentlemen, we are now going to listen to the opening speech delivered by the Vice Rector for Academic Affairs on behalf of our Rector. And afterward, we would like to request the Vice Rector to officially open the International Webinar 2020 held by Early Childhood Teachers Education Department. Kami ingin mengundang Bapak Wakil Rektor Bidang Akademik untuk secara resmi membuka webinar internasional ini. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Profesor Dr. Bambang Yulianto, MPD. Kepada Bapak Profesor Dr. Bambang Yulianto, dipersilahkan.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Terima kasih, Mbak Gali. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce myself. My name is Bambang Julianto. I'm a Vice Rector of Academic Affairs. Let me read UNESA Rector's speech in this agenda. Fakultas Ilmu Pendidikan. Dear speakers, the first, Mr. Fadil, MED, PhD, the candidates from Central China Normal University. Pak Fadil, I have come CCNU twice. Yes, I have come twice in CCNU, China Normal, Central China Normal University, and YouTuber in Indonesian and these ambassadors. His theme, maximizing the creativity of young people during the pandemic. The second, Mr. Pro Azizidik, MED. Hello, Mr. Pro Azizidik. He is a lecturer of Kurdistan University of Science and Technology Commission. the theme about learning English during the pandemic. The third, Shemo Chachep. I don't know what is the speaker in this agenda. Maybe Pa3 and others. Same understanding of pandemic trauma in children. And finally, Mr. Shahinur Rahman, the Assistant Professor, Department of Psychology, University of Chittagong, Bangladesh, and PhD fellow, School of Psychology, CCNU, Wuhan, China. Theme, deal with mental health issues and online learning in COVID-19. Hello. Welcome to UNESA. As well as webinar participants. Good afternoon and best wishes for all of us. First of all, let us praise the presence of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, God the most merciful and merciful, because with His permission, today we can gather here together to join the web seminar or webinar with the theme Positive Technology for Families in the COVID-19 pandemic. Ladies and gentlemen, in 2020, our country, Indonesia, is suffering from coronavirus or COVID-19, not only in the country of Indonesia, but the big countries is like America, Spain, France, and etc. We also hit by COVID-19. At the present, COVID-19 status has turned into a pandemic. Almost the entire world is affected by this pandemic. The number of positive cases and the death rate continues to increase. Action to eradicate the spread of the COVID-19 viruses by doing a lockdown or applying quarantine to an area or region. President Jokowi has also given the mandate to the governor and region to conduct a lockdown in several regions where the positive area COVID-19 cases is very high. To help break up the chance of COVID-19 distribution, the government made a decision to conduct learning activities at home by doing online, or we say that online learning. Ladies and gentlemen, during the COVID-19 pandemic, when it was time for educators to innovate, the creativity of the educators began to develop in designing tasks to students. If previously to school was a second home for the children, at the present, the situation turned into a home as a school for the children. Changing the place of learning at home makes parents inevitably have to be able to become a teacher for their children and function of the house as a place for their children to study and then study and study and study. The parents also inevitably share tips and experiences on how to educate, guide, and train the children, and make the whole houses of friends for children like school. So that recovers everyone to move at home, making parents try to balance work and child care when studying at school. However, adjusting to this new a pressure for parents because even children because even children feel it. There are several kinds of traumas experienced when children have difficulty coping with mental health problems, such as disturbed concentration, changes in behavior, and sleep pattern and irregular. Ladies and gentlemen, I respect this webinar activity. We hope that it can be active effort by universities to be support Indonesia in facing COVID-19 and maximizing the new creativity of young people during this pandemic. Hopefully, it can provide constructive input for the people in Indonesia. Finally, congratulations on joining the webinar and a series of supporting activities. Hopefully, what we do today will benefit the people affected by COVID-19. Thank you. Have a good discussion. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Director of UNESA, Profesor Dr. Nur Hasan, MKes. Bapak Ibu yang kami hormati, this is UNESA Rector speech, and then saya ingin mengajak kita bersama-sama untuk mohon ridho kepada Allah agar webinar ini dapat terlaksana dengan baik. I officially open this webinar, online seminar with Basmalah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Professor Dr. Bambang Yulianto, MPD, for opening our webinar. We are now continuing our webinar to the next agenda, that is to hear the keynote speech, which will be delivered by all our expert speakers from all across countries. But before that, let me read the rules for participants. Sebelum memasuki acara inti, izinkan saya membacakan tata tertib peserta pada webinar ini. Yang pertama, audience identity in international webinars must use a real name, not a device name or an institutional name. Identitas audiens dalam webinar internasional harus menggunakan nama asli, bukan nama perangkat atau nama institusi. Kedua, audience who gets access to Zoom have to dress politely and well behave while international webinar activities take place. Audiens yang mendapatkan akses ke Zoom harus berpakaian sopan dan berperilaku sopan saat kegiatan webinar internasional berlangsung. 3. Audience is expected to mute during the international webinar activity. Audiens diharapkan untuk mematikan mikrofon selama kegiatan webinar berlangsung. 4. All participants who follow the activities of the international webinars via Zoom or YouTube can ask questions through the chat room with the format #ask_name_speakers name to be asked_the question. Semua peserta yang mengikuti kegiatan webinar internasional melalui Zoom maupun YouTube dapat mengajukan pertanyaan melalui chat room dengan format #tanya_nama_nama narasumber yang ingin diberikan pertanyaan_pertanyaan. Kelima, participants are requested to fill in the attendance list shared in WhatsApp group. Peserta dimohon mengisi daftar hadir melalui link yang akan diberikan di grup WhatsApp ketika acara akan selesai. Without any further ado, let's hear the keynote speech, which will be delivered by all our expert speakers. The keynote speeches will be moderated by Ms. Wulan Patria Saroensong, PhD. From now on, This webinar section will be led by Ms. Wulan. Presentasi para narasumber akan dimoderatori oleh Ibu Wulan. Mulai saat ini, sesi webinar ini akan dipimpin oleh Ibu Wulan. Miss Wulan, time is yours. Kepada Ibu Wulan, waktu dan tempat kami persilahkan.
Okay, thank you so much, Galuh. And good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to call again the distinguished guests and all speakers, participants, and also the committee board of UNESA in general, and either also the Faculty of Education. Ya, jadi selamat sore semuanya. Saya kembali lagi untuk menyapa ya para peserta dan juga para tamu undangan dan outstanding speaker kita yang sudah berpartisipasi, berkenan hadir untuk join dengan webinar internasional kita hari ini. Dan juga para dekanat ya yang ada di Fakultas Ilmu Pendidikan. Terima kasih banyak Pak WD 1, Pak WD 3, dan Pak Dekan mungkin nanti akan menyusul. We about to start our discussion, yeah. And today we have the big topics. We're gonna talking about the positive technology for families during the COVID-19 pandemic. And today we have a two perspective from a YouTuber and also from academia. And we have four speakers, as I mentioned before. We have from Indonesia, from Bangladesh, and we also have from Kurdistan, Iraq. And let me call all our speakers today and read all the CV of them. Host, bisa share dulu untuk CV? Oke, bisa diperbesar lagi? Can you zoom out? All right. Today we have our first speakers from Bangladesh, Mr. Muhammad Sainur Rahman. Mr. Sainur, how are you? Are you joining with us?
Hello, Ulan. I have a problem right now. Actually, my electricity disrupted right now. So, is it possible? Can you continue with the another participant, speaker first? Is it possible?
Okay, so you're gonna be the next one, right?
Yes, yes. Because actually, my internet actually gone. And actually, it will take at least 20 minutes to come. So,
yeah. So
actually, sorry for this.
Is it possible? It's okay. Yeah, that's possible.
Okay.
For sure.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
All right. All right. Thank you so much for confirmation. So probably I will ask Mr. Fadil, maybe Mr. Fadil from Aceh.
Yeah, hello, Ibu.
Yeah, Mr. Fadil, would you mind to be a first speaker?
Yeah, of course.
All right. So can you show the CV of our first speaker, please? Yep. So for our first speakers, we have from Indonesia, Mr. Fadil. He's a YouTuber and videographer. And also he's a PhD candidate of Central China Normal University School of Psychology, Wuhan, China. And he also one of awardee of China Government Scholarship 2019. Yes, so Mr. Fadil, welcome to our webinar. Thank you so much for joining with us.
Yeah.
And so I will continue for the second speaker. For the second speaker from Iraq, Kurdistan, Mr. Broa.
Yes, Ms. Wulan.
Yeah, Mr. Broa, would you mind to be the second speaker?
Sure, why not?
Yeah, because we have a trouble
It's
because
fine,
of the
totally
first.
fine.
All right. So thank you so much, Mr. Broa, to join with us. We have a 5 hours different, right? Between Kurdistan,
Definitely.
yeah, and Indonesia. So we really appreciate it.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Yeah. So let me read just a brief of your CV because it's so many accomplishment and experience you have. So Mr. Broa, he's an English lecturer and facilitator of Komar University Science and Technology, Kurdistan, Iraq. Yeah. And he's also become a legal translator and interpreter for English and Kurdish and vice versa. Like, so I think more or less I already tell all the audience about your CV. So we move to the third speaker from Indonesia. Yes, still from Indonesia as well. Mr. Yudil Katim. He's now on the meeting, so maybe cannot cannot be respond directly just by the gesture. Thanks for joining with us, Mr. Yudil. Bisa share untuk CV-nya Pak Yudil? Ya. Yeah. Alright. So, Mr. Yudil also have a lot of accomplishment and experience. And probably I just wanna tell you just a brief. So he's head of subdivision of administration directorate of partnership and alignment of business and industrial world, Directorate General of Vocational Education, Republik Indonesia, Ministry of Education and Culture. Yeah, so maybe our vice rector has some misunderstanding before. So I emphasize again, Mr. Yudil Katim from a Ministry of Education and Culture. For China, especially in China and Indonesia relationship, special for education. So Mr. Yudil, welcome. Thank you so much for participating. The assistant professor of Department of Psychology, University of Chittagong, Bangladesh, and he's also a PhD fellow, School of Psychology from CCNU Wuhan, and he's become a secretary of Bangladesh Psychometric Society or BPS, and ex-executive member of Bangladesh Psychological Association. Yeah. So all the CV and speakers we already call and welcome. And before we start our first session, I'd like to kind remind again for all of you to mute all the microphone, and you can ask a question for each presentation. So after each speaker finish the presentation, you can directly ask by the chat box in the Zoom platform, or you can ask in the live YouTube streaming. Yeah, so we just gonna choose two question of you because of time limit. And all right, without further ado, now I'd like to welcome our first speaker. Mr. Fadil?
Yeah, hello.
Yeah.
Miss Wulan.
Yeah, so let's welcome Mr. Fadil from Aceh. Yeah, he's gonna bring us a presentation talking about how to maximizing the creativity of young people in the pandemic. Is that right, Mr. Fadil?
Yeah, of course, absolutely, you're
All
right.
right. All right, so Mr. Fadil, please, time is yours.
Well done. Thank you so much for the moderator, Miss Wulan. Okay, I would like to say good afternoon to a lot of audience to the webinar this today. And then I would like to say good afternoon untuk Rektor UNUSA, Bapak Profesor Dr. Nur Hasan Menkes, walaupun tadi diwakilkan mungkin sedang berhalangan. And I would like to say good afternoon to all of the speakers from Bangladesh, from Kyrgyzstan, and also juga untuk semua panitia yang sudah bekerja untuk mempersiapkan semua seminar kali ini. And today I would like to present my own experience, ya. Jadi saya akan lebih bercerita memang berdasarkan pengalaman saya, karena kebetulan saya suka dengan videografi, ya. Dan yang seperti sudah diperkenalkan sebelumnya oleh moderator, saya Fadil, kuliah S2 dan S3 di psikologi di Central China Normal University, mendapatkan beasiswa dari pemerintah China Government Scholarship. Dan untuk hari ini saya akan berbicara lebih tentang memaksimalkan, ya, bagaimana kita menggunakan internet itu di kala pandemi corona. Jadi saya tidak lebih ke akademisinya, walaupun saya S3 kuliah, tapi kita lebih santai untuk sharing di siang kali ini, ya. Oke, saya akan langsung saja share screen saya. Okay. So how to maximizing the creativity of young people in the pandemic period COVID-19? Ya, jadi di mana saya akan sedikit sharing berdasarkan pengalaman saya. Apa yang bisa kita gunakan dari teknologi internet sekarang, di mana kita bisa menghasilkan lebih, bukan sekedar have fun saja menonton video atau melihat video lucu, tapi dengan program dan lain-lain kita bisa menghasilkan uang, bisa menghasilkan pengalaman, dan juga bisa menambah relasi yang baru. Itu yang saya ingin sharing di siang kali ini. The advancement in technology have made a strong impact on almost all areas of our society, and also it is making a serious difference in the way kids and parents perceive the world on each other. Jadi di mana yang kita rasakan sekarang ini adalah perkembangan teknologi yang semakin canggih, ya, day by day. Kita nggak bisa force itu, kita harus menerimanya, karena setiap hari memang perkembangan teknologi semakin maju cepat ya. Jadi dan kehidupan di zaman sekarang ini bahkan diwarnai dengan adanya teknologi yang ya berubah sangat cepat, yang pastinya itu bisa membantu kehidupan kita sehari-hari, ya. Dengan istilah sekarang kita sudah masuk ke era modern, seperti itu. The internet is increasingly used to perform everyday activities as a result of the high-speed digitalization of society. Jadi, ya seperti saya sampaikan tadi, bahwa dengan adanya internet ini, yaitu pastinya menjadi sebuah kemudahan, ya, yang bisa menjadi bukti nyata dari adanya teknologi, di mana teknologi ini sebagai alat untuk membantu manusia mempermudah pekerjaan sehari-hari, ya. Internet, the technology has moved forward from simple computer gaming, ya, yang awalnya dulu kita melihat teknologi itu hanya sepetak komputer yang kita gunakan mungkin untuk chatting, untuk telepon, SMS, tapi sekarang teknologi internet itu lebih jauh daripada itu, begitu cepat berkembangnya. Nah, how many people use the internet? Seperti yang kita tampilkan di sini, bahwa almost 4.57 billion people were active internet users as of July 2020. It's encompassing 59% of the global population. Jadi dari data tersebut kita bisa tahu bahwa sebanyak 4,57 miliar penduduk dunia itu adalah pengguna aktif internet dan 3,96 miliar penduduk dunia adalah pengguna aktif media sosial. Dan untuk urutan 3 teratas itu merupakan Tiongkok, Cina dan juga Tiongkok, India dan Amerika ya untuk pengguna internet terbanyak. Dan pastinya kita juga bisa melihat sekarang dan merasakan bahwa Tiongkok dan India lagi gencar-gencarnya ya itu membangun teknologi, membuat robot, membuat alat-alat yang bisa membantu mempermudah kegiatan sehari-hari kita. Everything has two impacts. Nah, as we know ya, semuanya ada dua sisi yang bisa kita maknai atau dua perspektif dari semua yang kita lihat dalam kehidupan ini. Ada positive sides dan juga ada negative sides. Contoh nih, kalau kita melihat sebilah pisau, ya pisau itu kalau kita lihat dari segi negatifnya, pisau itu bisa melukai orang lain. Tapi kalau kita lihat dari segi positif, pisau bisa menjadi alat yang membantu memasak di dapur. Ya, jadi dua perspektif yang berbeda ini tergantung dari kita yang melihatnya dari kacamata yang mana, seperti itu. Nah, begitu juga dengan internet. Itu akan menjadi negatif kalau kita hanya menghabiskan waktu berjam-jam bermain media sosial atau bermain game online ya sampai lupa waktu, lupa istirahat, lupa untuk makan. Bahkan itu menjadi candu yang juga berefek negatif ya, karena kecanduan internet itu juga dapat mengakibatkan efek samping yang cukup besar ya pada kehidupan remaja khususnya, seperti peningkatan kecemasan, depresi, penurunan fisik dan juga kesehatan mental, hubungan interpersonal dan juga pastinya penurunan kinerja kita. Nah, tapi sebaliknya, kalau kita melihat teknologi internet ini dari segi positifnya, itu bisa menjadi feedback yang sangat luar biasa bagi kita, di mana kita bisa menjadi content creator yang aktif, kita bisa belajar hal baru, kita bisa belajar bahasa baru dengan berkomunikasi dengan orang asing di seluruh dunia. Ya bahkan kita bisa membangun startup ya yang dimana bisa menghasilkan uang. So it depends on you ya which way you want to choose, mau positifnya atau negatifnya. Oke, yang kita rasakan sekarang adalah COVID-19 ya, almost 5 months we stay at home maybe ya, mungkin beberapa daerah di Indonesia sudah agak sudah agak dipermudah untuk keluar tapi tetap mengikuti protokol kesehatan. Nah, namun mungkin beberapa daerah di Indonesia masih harus tetap di rumah karena mungkin masih zona merah. So what should we do if we stay at home dengan yang kita punya sekarang? Ya, kalau kita pikir-pikir nih, mungkin pasti teman-teman semua juga merasakan, wah, saya di rumah aja, saya bosan, saya pengen ketemu teman, saya pengen main, saya pengen ke mall, saya pengen nonton. Banyak hal yang mungkin kita ingin lakukan di luar, tapi karena juga keadaan yang mewajibkan kita sekarang harus di rumah, nah pasti kita selaku manusia yang memiliki otak yang sangat sempurna, yang bisa berpikir kreatif dan kritis, kita harus memutar otak nih, kira-kira ngapain aja nih selama di rumah? What we gonna do, ya? Oke, dan pastinya selama di rumah saja, yang kita punya adalah yaitu tadi, kita punya teknologi internet, di mana di masa COVID-19 ini kita di rumah aja, ya paling kita untuk update sesuatu itu dari media berita, dari sosial media. Nah, gimana caranya nih? Menggunakan sosial media, menggunakan teknologi internet untuk menghasilkan, at least walaupun tidak mendapatkan uang mungkin, tapi kita mendapatkan pengalaman yang luar biasa. Itu yang poin yang paling penting. Oke, nah jadi selama corona ini karena kita di rumah aja ya, pastinya yang selama ini mungkin kita belum pernah mungkin masih terbilang jarang ya, kita mengikuti online class di rumah, kita mengikuti online meeting, dan juga kita mengikuti online seminar. Ya ini memang yang saya lakukan juga, ini yang saya rasakan selama masa pandemi corona ini ya. Tapi ternyata teknologi internet itu lebih jauh, lebih luas daripada hanya sekedar kelas daring, daripada sekedar work from home ya, tapi lebih jauh yang bisa kita buat dari teknologi internet itu sendiri. As we know, we have a lot of free resources. Ya, banyak sekali platform-platform gratis yang bisa kita gunakan untuk berkreasi. Ya, salah satunya sosial media seperti Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, dan juga Twitter. Nah, jadi bagaimana nih? Seperti yang saya sampaikan tadi, dua perspektif yang berbeda, positif dan negatif. Ya, kalau kita lihat platform gratis yang kita punya ini, kita mau jadi apa nih? Kita apakah hanya sebagai penonton atau sebagai penggerak, pembuat konten? Nah, itu adalah pilihan kita masing-masing. Ya, kalau saya pribadi, karena saya sudah suka dengan dunia videografi dari tahun 2015, ya udah saya berkreasi di YouTube, saya berkreasi di Instagram. Ya, walaupun mungkin ya kalau dilihat dari segi feedbacknya itu belum terlalu banyak, tapi yang seperti saya sampaikan tadi bahwa feedback ke kita itu tidak hanya melulu dinilai dari uang, tapi dari pengalaman, dari relasi, ya itu juga sangat baik bagi perkembangan hidup kita, apalagi khususnya bagi remaja ya, di mana pembentukan karakter untuk bisa memilih di mana yang memang benar-benar mereka sukai untuk jalan hidup mereka ke depan. Nah, I take an example from Indonesia. Ya, ini ada beberapa content creator dari Indonesia yang sudah terbilang besar namanya. Mungkin teman-teman juga pada tahu ya, mereka bertiga. Itu ada Auredie, salah satu YouTuber cover, ada Just No Limit, ada YouTuber gaming, dan juga ada Chandra Liao, YouTuber cinematic. Nah, apa nih yang bisa kita ambil dari pengalaman mereka bertiga ya? Kalau kita bedah lebih dalam, Aurelie ini adalah ya awalnya dia cover lagu di YouTube, berujung dia bisa collab dengan penyanyi-penyanyi terkenal di Indonesia, bahkan sampai bermain film ke layar lebar. Nah, pada saat pandemi COVID-19 ini apa yang Aurelia lakukan? Dia itu sering bermain di Instagram dengan memposting video-video komedi di mana nanti followersnya akan mengedit, mengkolaborasi video itu menjadi sebuah video lucu dari ide masing-masing itu. Nah, bagaimana dengan YouTuber gaming dari Just No Limit? Dia ini pernah menjadi juara top global pada game online Mobile Legends 6, dan kemudian dia memulai YouTube di tahun 2017 dengan konten bermain game juga, dan alhasil sangat luar biasa. Dari hasilnya bermain game dan bisa membeli supercar game dari dia di YouTube, dia bisa membeli mobil yang didamkan banyak orang, mobil Ferrari. Nah, bagaimana dengan Chandra Liao? Ya, he is one of my favorite. Jadi bisa dibilang si Chandra Liao ini juga menjadi salah satu tokoh yang saya ikuti, yang saya sukai. Di mana Chandra Liao ini kuliah di jurusan DKV yang sangat cinta filmmaking dari kecil. Dia mulai YouTube sampai bahkan dia konsisten dengan YouTube-nya, dengan ciri khas sinematiknya, dia banyak di Indonesia ini adalah apabila kita konsisten untuk media kali ini di YouTube, itu pasti akan membuahkan hasil yang sangat luar biasa. Helpful tips, teknik to unleash creativity. Gimana nih caranya kita bisa menggali ide kita untuk bisa tetap terus mengembangkan hal-hal yang kreatif? Ya, itu ada beberapa cara. Salah satunya mind expansion, reading thought clouds. Ya, jadi seperti saya bilang tadi, kita harus tahu dulu kita sukanya apa. Saya suka videografi, saya cari tokoh yang saya suka. Saya suka Chandra Liao. Saya lihat referensinya, kemudian saya padukan dengan ide-ide yang saya punya. Jadi istilahnya kalau kita pengen membuat sesuatu pakai cara ATM. ATM itu adalah amati, tiru, kemudian modifikasi. Ya. Nah, bisa juga dengan cara kita itu mencari momen yang pas di mana kita bisa gunakan momen untuk berimajinasi, berpikir hal-hal yang belum pernah terjadi, kita kombinasikan dengan hal-hal yang sudah orang lakukan. Nah, untuk momen ini tergantung pribadi masing-masing. Ada orang yang bisa mencari momen mungkin dia pada saat di kamar mandi, atau momen di pinggiran sawah, atau momen di pinggiran sungai. Nah, itu tergantung teman-teman momen yang mana yang pas untuk teman-teman untuk bisa berimajinasi yang bisa menghasilkan konten-konten yang positif. Nah, satu lagi nih, ada cara di mana kita bisa keluar ide itu, atau yaitu di saat urgency situation. Dalam keadaan terdesak pasti kita bisa melakukan hal-hal yang selama ini mungkin kita anggap itu nggak bisa. Contoh, ada pohon tinggi, kalau hari-hari biasa kita nggak yakin mungkin kita bisa panjat pohon itu. Tapi pada saat terdesak, ada anjing yang mengejar kita, ada maling atau orang jahat mengejar kita tiba-tiba bisa manjat ke pohon tinggi itu. Nah, ini maksudnya adalah pada saat sekarang ini, kita kan lagi corona, kita di rumah aja, yang mungkin biasanya kita bisa kemana-mana, pergi kemana-mana, kita seperti agak santai gitu. Tapi begitu dengan keadaan kita di rumah saja, otak kita dipaksa nih untuk berpikir kreatif, apa yang harus saya lakukan. Nah, inilah yang saya rasakan pada saat saya di Wuhan. Ya, seperti yang teman-teman ketahui, saya berasal satu mahasiswa Indonesia yang di Wuhan pada saat pertama kali tersebarnya virus corona di Wuhan. Jadi kami bersama 98 mahasiswa Indonesia itu 9 hari berada di Wuhan sampai akhirnya kita dievakuasi oleh pemerintah Indonesia. Nah, yang saya lakukan adalah pada saat itu saya tidak hanya duduk diam menunggu, tidak. Saya punya platform nih, saya punya sosial media, saya punya YouTube, saya punya WhatsApp, saya punya Instagram. Pada saat itu saya tidak memilih untuk diam, saya memilih untuk mempublikasikan video-video kami, update-update kami dengan cara live reportase berita kepada televisi-televisi nasional di Indonesia. Dan pada saat itu bisa dikatakan hampir semua televisi setiap hari itu meliput update aktivitas kami di sana. Salah satunya saya, karena ada beberapa mahasiswa Indonesia juga yang terus update di berita sana. Nah, tujuannya apa? Apa yang saya pikirkan pada saat itu? Jadi dengan adanya treatment-treatment seperti ini, kita berharap proses evakuasi ataupun respon dari pemerintah Indonesia bisa lebih cepat untuk melakukan evakuasi. Dan alhamdulillah memang benar, 9 hari kita di sana dengan proses yang panjang, alhamdulillah kita bisa dievakuasi ke Indonesia. Nah, ini juga taking action to influence a decision. Ya, jadi salah satu video saya yang sempat viral saat itu, bahkan trending di YouTube untuk posisi kelima. Ya, saya kirimkan video saya update di sana untuk sebuah channel YouTube berita di Aceh. Dan berdasarkan video itu juga banyak di-repost juga, ya sama seperti yang saya lakukan tadi. Tujuannya apa? Supaya banyak orang tahu kondisi kita seperti ini, kita melakukan supaya adaptasi bisa lebih cepat dilaksanakan. Nah, ini merupakan kombinasi creativity plus momen plus networking. Nah, ini dia nih. Apabila 3 kombinasi ini kita bisa dapatkan, ini sangat luar biasa. Ya, makanya buat teman-teman mungkin yang masih kuliah, itu momen sekarang adalah cari relasi sebanyak-banyaknya, cari teman sebanyak-banyaknya, ya, mengikuti organisasi, gabung di komunitas, ketemu dengan orang-orang penting. Karena dengan begitu, kita nggak tahu nih, ke depan itu orang-orang yang kita miliki di circle kita itu bisa membantu apa. Nah, apa yang saya lakukan pada saat itu? Creativity plus momen plus networking adalah, nah, begitu kami sudah dievakuasi ke Indonesia, kita karantina di Natuna selama 14 hari maksud saya. Setelah saya selesai, saya ingin kembali ke Aceh, saya transit di Jakarta selama 2 hari. Nah, saya itu nggak mau melewatkan kesempatan yang saya punya. Apa kesempatan yang saya punya? Di mana waktu saya di Wuhan, saya eksis memberikan berita di media televisi Indonesia. Pada saat saya di Jakarta, saya ambil kesempatan itu lagi untuk tetap eksis. Apa yang saya lakukan? Yang saya lakukan adalah saya hubungi kembali wartawan-wartawan media nasional semuanya, karena pada saat itu saya cuma 2 hari di Jakarta, saya hanya bisa menghadiri 3 interview. Salah satunya saya ke studio CNN Indonesia, di Kumparan, dan juga di studio Metro TV. Nah, jadi seperti yang saya bilang tadi, momennya masih hangat soal corona dan juga kesempatan dari relasi tadi itu. Itulah dia makanya pada saat kita memiliki banyak teman, banyak relasi, itu kadang kita bisa memberikan rezeki lebih buat kita, ya. Nah, dan tidak berujung sampai di situ saja. Pada saat saya di Natuna, ini kembali lagi ke networking. Ini yang sangat, jadi pengalaman saya kali ini memang lebih banyak ke networking yang saya punya, di mana teman-teman yang saya punya itu memang bisa memberikan berkah bagi saya dari segi finansial, dari segi pengalaman di social movement, di mana pada saat itu teman saya ada yang kenalan dengan salah satu brand hand sanitizer terbesar di Indonesia. Ya, jadi saya awalnya posting di story saya nih, saya dapat bayaran. Nah, kembali lagi, saya nggak mau melewatkan kesempatan itu. Kesempatannya apa? Pada saat saya ke Jakarta, saya ajak ketemu si product manager dari brand hand sanitizer tadi. Saya nggak mau melewatkan itu, padahal saya cuma ajak ngopi. Saya ketemu dia, kita diskusi, sharing, dan ternyata ada project yang bisa kita lakukan bersama. Nah, makanya coba bayangkan apabila tadi niat saya yang ingin bersilaturahmi ataupun saya gunakan networking saya tadi, saya nggak mau ajak ketemu, saya mungkin nggak akan pernah dapat project ini. Jadi project ini adalah pada saat itu saya bersama 2 teman saya mendapatkan kesempatan trip untuk ke Hong Kong untuk meliput keadaan corona di sana. Pada saat kami ke Hong Kong ini itu belum, di Indonesia belum masuk corona karena masih akhir Februari. Nah, trip di sini saya ke sana mewakili produk hand sanitizer itu untuk langsung menghampiri KJRI di Hong Kong ya, memberikan bantuan sumbangan produk ke sana. Jadi semuanya dibayari, difasilitasi dari tiket pesawat, tinggal di hotel berbintang, akomodasi, bahkan kita digaji. Nah, itulah jadi kesempatan itu jangan sampai kita lewatkan apabila kita ingin berkreasi di dunia internet ini tadi. Nah, seperti yang sampaikan di awal tadi, pada saat kita memaksimalkan penggunaan dunia teknologi internet, jangan melulu kita memikirkan uang. Nah, jadi kadang kita harus memberikan manfaat lah bagi banyak orang. Jadi setelah saya selesai kembali ke Aceh, ke kampung halaman masing-masing, saya tetap kontak sama si product manager tadi. Kita sharing, diskusi lagi, kira-kira apa nih yang bisa kita lakukan untuk menanggapi COVID-19 di Indonesia. Nah, pada saat itu kita diskusi, ternyata kita bisa membuat sebuah campaign dengan hashtag kita lawan bersama, di mana kita pada saat itu mendukung tim medis yang ada di Indonesia dengan submit di sebuah website. Jadi kayak kita tuh sebarin website, orang pada klik di situ, kasih kata-kata semangat buat tim medis, kemudian kita kasih produk hand sanitizer kepada tim medis. Jadi saya kumpulkan teman-teman dari Wuhan, teman-teman yang dari Natuna juga, alhamdulillah terkumpul ada 15 kabupaten kota, seluruh Indonesia dari Sabang sampai Merauke, yaitu kita berikan hand sanitizer untuk support kita kepada tim medis yang sudah berjuang keras pada saat corona ini melanda Indonesia. Jadi yang saya dapatkan di sini adalah apa? Tadi itu, saya ingin ini bermanfaat bagi banyak orang juga, bukan hanya ke saya dapat uang atau pengalaman atau gimana, tapi saya juga ingin memberi support bagi orang lain, seperti itu. Nah, kemudian pada saat bulan Ramadan kemarin juga masih kita we must stay at home, kita nggak bisa kemana-mana karena stuck dengan corona ini. Saya berpikir lagi apa yang bisa saya lakukan, what we have to do. Saya punya internet, saya punya Instagram, apa yang saya lakukan. Pada saat itu saya punya ide, saya kebetulan ada, bisa dibilang karena kita bergabung dengan PPI, Perhimpunan Pelajar Indonesia, jadi bisa dikatakan bahwa kita itu punya teman-teman di berbagai negara di dunia. Jadi saya teringat saya punya teman, jadi saya ajak teman-teman saya untuk komunikasi.
Maaf, Mr. Fadil, 5 menit lagi ya.
Baik. Kita sharing pada saat itu pengalaman puasa di luar negeri. Jadi saya live di Instagram dengan seperti contohnya ada teman saya di Belanda, ada di Arab Saudi, dan juga di Australia. Nah, jadi padahal simple pada saat itu ya. Idenya simple, kita hanya live di Instagram, namun kita baluti dengan pengalaman berpuasa di luar negeri. Dan alhamdulillah pada saat itu mendapat respon yang positif dari teman-teman kita. Jadi orang pengen tahu, oh ternyata seperti ini ya, belajar di luar negeri atau puasa di luar negeri seperti ini. Karena kan simple, semua orang bisa live di Instagram, tapi dengan kemasan yang sedikit unik yang berbeda, saya bisa menarik perhatian orang untuk menonton live Instagram saya. Dan untuk keadaan sekarang ya, karena juga kita masih di rumah aja, saya masih fokus ke YouTube saya. Mungkin teman-teman bisa juga singgah di YouTube saya. Dan satu lagi, saya melihat kesempatan lagi, ada teman saya juga yang kebetulan YouTuber di Amerika. Jadi ya itu tadi, kita sharing-sharing, kita diskusi. Jadi saya menjadi editor YouTube-nya dia. Ya itu tadi, kita berbayar. Jadi saya ngedit videonya dia, dia bayar saya. Ya itulah yang kemasan-kemasan ataupun hal-hal yang bisa kita lakukan, di mana kita bisa mendapatkan feedback yang baik juga selama COVID-19 ini. Nah, saya ngambil satu quote dari tokoh Indonesia yang sangat luar biasa, Bapak almarhum B.J. Habibie. Keberhasilan bukanlah milik orang pintar, namun keberhasilan itu adalah milik mereka yang senantiasa berusaha. Ya, jadi buat teman-teman yang punya ide, idenya itu dilaksanakan, ya, action itu harus sangat penting dilakukan, karena sebanyak apapun ide, tapi kalau tidak dilakukan itu sama saja bohong. Kemudian konsisten, kemudian sharing, ada yang nanya, dibagi ilmunya, jangan pelit-pelit, dan tetap berusaha untuk melakukan yang terbaik. Oke, buat teman-teman mungkin yang pengen sharing lebih lanjut, bisa via WhatsApp atau via Instagram saya dan juga YouTube saya. Ya, sekian pengalaman saya mengenai YouTube, mengenai sosial media, yang dimana kita bisa mendapatkan feedback baik buat kita. Terima kasih waktunya. Mohon maaf ada kesalahan kata. Saya kembalikan ke moderator, Miss Wulan. Terima kasih.
Yeah, alright. Thank you so much. Terima kasih, Mr. Fadil. Yeah, it was informative knowledge and then information for us how to increase, how to make a social media become a positive impact for us, right? So we can increase social media to motivate our creativity yeah, and add more the networking, yeah, across countries. So thank you so much, Mr. Fadil. And we open for a question for all of you, for all the participants. If you're gonna have a question, please you can send to the chat box, or you can deliver by our live streaming YouTube. Host, apa ada pertanyaan? Ya, sementara ini kayaknya dari partisipan belum ada ya yang mau bertanya. Mungkin nanti ya, tidak apa-apa, mungkin nanti di sesi berikutnya tinggal kalian tuliskan saja di kolom chat. Kalian mau bertanya untuk siapa ya, bisa disusul nanti. Alright, so we continue our discussion to the second session. And I'd like to call Mr. Yudil Katim. Mr. Yudil?
Yes, Bu Ulan.
Ya, Pak Yudil, udah siap ya?
Ready?
Ya, okay. So, Mr. Yudil, time is yours.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm so sorry because I'm in the meeting. So I'm now, it's already finished the meeting, so I continue the seminar. I'm so sorry. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Ibu Nurul, tadi ada Pak Bambang, Bu Wulan, Pak Ibu dari UNESA, lalu para speaker ya, from Iraq, Bangladesh, and others, Pak Fadil. I think most of you are from also the alumni from China. So I also the alumni from Wuhan, from Central China Normal University. Actually, I just would like to talk about my story, about my life story. That I work in Ministry of Education, and my boss is asking me to study in China for master and PhD. In the beginning, actually, I really don't really like about China, but because of this is the order from the boss. So finally, I have to go to China. I study in Huazhong Normal University in 2006. At that time, actually, my boss, the first is asking me to go to Australia, but they have to change because one of the leader from China embassy in Jakarta in Indonesia come to my office and then offer the scholarship to study in China. Actually, if I have to choose, I will choose Australia rather than China. Before I already dreaming, jumping with the kangaroo and then selfie in Sydney, Opera House, Sydney, yeah. But now it's over because I have to go to China and then I have to running with panda, yeah, not with kangaroo. I really hate my boss because he sent me to China. I think that he threw me to China. It's really uncomfortable because at that time I don't have a good news from China. Most of news are bad news from China. So I really scared to come to China in 2006. I'm also Muslim, and we don't have enough information about how Muslim life in China at that time. So I really scared to come to China. But when I come to China, to Wuhan, yeah, so I really don't know where is Wuhan at the time. But now Wuhan is very famous, yeah. Everybody in the world will know Wuhan because of COVID-19. Uh, uh, the point that I got from my boss to send me to China, he told me that Udil, if you go to Australia for master degree, maybe you can finish the master degree maybe maximum in 2 years. But in Ministry of Education, if you finish from Australia, probably you will be probably is nobody, because everybody can speak English in a Ministry of Education. Most of us can speak English, even though uh, small or little or expert, yeah. But if you want to go to China and study master degree in China, it's 4 years. So if you want to go to China for fighting to get the master degree, hopefully, if you come back from China, if you finish study in China, so probably you will be somebody. So I choose my title in my presentation, uh, making nobody become somebody. So from the uh, so I realized that I have to choose. I will become somebody or nobody. So I think I choose to be somebody, yeah, rather than nobody. uh, so when I come to Wuhan, I learn more, and so I got some data. The next slide, please. I got data that in 10 years, I got data from Human Development Index from UNDP from 1995 to 2006, because I come to China in 2006. Only in 10 years, if you see the red curve here, the red line, this is China. Only in 10 years, they gain 30 level from rank 111, but in 2006 China will become level 81. So they beat the Philippines. Even though Indonesia in 1995, Indonesia is higher than Indonesia is ranked one, but only in 10 years China can beat Indonesia and also Philippines to become a developed country. So at the time I just surprised, and then I think I need to learn more about China, and many things that I got from China. So they are very tough in education. So I have a book that write by Li Lanqing. Li Lanqing is a former vice prime minister from China. He has a book, Education for 1.3 billion. So at that book, he told about how China reformed the education. So I think that what China faced at that time is the same with Indonesia. It's the same with our country. And that book is also, they tell about how they changed the system of education. They're asking for maybe counseling, yeah, counseling teacher in any level of education. So they are decided for the student what they have to study. So from the early childhood, they already talent scouting, yeah, like talent scouting for the student. So if the student would like to study, to study anything, so uh, they will see the detail of the student, and the teacher will give the direction for the student. Either maybe the student very like for painting or art or sport or scientist or anything. So the teacher should know what the student would like to do. So I think this is also good method for us uh, to learn more about the children, the kids, yeah, where they have to go. Uh, because if we give uh, the choose from the student, maybe they don't understand themselves. Some of us just go to just choose the program because of his or her friend there, like us. They have they like science program because of the friend. They have science, social program. Maybe they have also his girlfriend or her boyfriends there, so they study there. So this is not actually their intellectual, their uh, in the psychological, yeah. So the teacher need to help them to raise their knowledge and then their intelligence, yeah. So I think this is one method that more important uh, for us in education, to give uh, uh, approaching with the student to choose what they can do for their future. Uh, so I think from this we need to support every single student what they need to learn, what they have to do in education. So because I work now in a Ministry of Education, especially for vocational education, uh, it's also important to gather to make a form for the student what they have to do. Uh, for example, maybe they can do as an entrepreneur. So we we uh, we direct them to the vocational education. So in vocational education, this is integral part of economical sector that devoted to support national economic growth. It is therefore vocational education system is also need to be improved, both quality and quantity. So also in vocational education, is also reflect manpower quality that need to be developed continuously to improve the competitiveness of the Indonesian of the human resources. Vocational education also plays an important role to reduce jobless index in the statewide, to be able to perform the labor market. Vocational education should work hand in hand with the industry's partner and employees significant role in enhancing technical and vocational education policies. And this is also, we can start from the early childhood. Next. In Ministry of Education, the policies we are instilling the entrepreneurship subject in any technical and vocational training, the promotion of self-employment, and forward-looking concept which will help to ease to labor market situation. Particularly attention should be given to planning the development and expansion of vocational education by giving high priority in national development agenda, evaluating national needs, and then providing appropriate current and future allocation for financial resources. Uh, Employer should have greater involvement in national technical education policy, and they should be consulted in the major technical education and training initiative. Strengthening training in mastery of key competency, basic skill of literacy, math, communication skills, problem solving, and then adaptation to new technology, digital literacy, and teamwork. So we can start this agenda is also from the early childhood education, in providing continuing education and training, and developing competency standards and recognition and certification of skills. Next. This is flexible pathway to cope with continuous and radical change of technology and economic environment. Vocational education should provide training that are flexible, on demand, interactive, and applying multiple entry and exit in responding to these changes. In vocational and technical education system, as well as the post-school, it is necessary to provide flexibility so that people who make one choice are not subsequently locked out of access to other courses or education.
Mr. Yudil, mohon maaf, 1 menit lagi ya.
Okay. This as identified that there are many potential vocational education students or workers, those are willing to study while they are working. This need to be made possible through teaching course to share. No need for people to start from the beginning when they want to extend their knowledge and skill. I think the last one. Next.
Yeah.
Oh, this is no need. Next. For all the things that we need the certification system, it is important to open access for the other training provider to a system of skill certifications. Also, design gives students to clear a statement of their skills attainment, which they can show to prospective employers by providing skills passport. I think this is from me. Thank you very much, and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Oke, terima kasih banyak Pak Yudil ya untuk speech-nya ya, presentasinya yang sangat luar biasa ya. Terima kasih banyak. So if I can conclude from Mr. Yudil presentation, so we have to start the vocational education from early childhood education, right? And we have to provide all kids with the easy technology that can give a good impact and positive impact on their future. Yeah. So now we open a question for all of you, for all the participants who gonna ask. You can write in the chat box or in the live YouTube streaming. Oh yeah, so I think here we have a question, but not for Mr. Yudil, but for Mr. Fadil. Yeah. Yeah, maybe for Mr. Yudil, the participant still make a summary maybe from your presentation. All right, Mr. Fadil. Mr. Fadil? Are you still join with us? Ya, Mr. Fadil. Oke. Pak Yudil, sekarang udah ada pertanyaan ya buat Pak Yudil, ya. Ya, jadi di sini bagaimana kita memanfaatkan teknologi dan dunia industri dalam pembelajaran anak usia dini. Yeah, so how we can encourage industrial world and technology for early childhood education? Mr. Yudil, ya, Pak Yudil bisa dijawab?
Iya, terima kasih Bu Wulan. Sepertinya sekarang teknologi ini sudah merambah ke mana-mana. Sebenarnya kalau dulu waktu di Central China Normal University itu ada teknologi yang mereka itu membuat, karena kan Normal University ini kan kayak di Indonesia tuh kayak IKIP lah ya, kayak UNESA lah ya. Nah, mereka ini menciptakan teknologi, mereka membuat tab yang isinya adalah permainan-permainan untuk anak-anak PAUD, untuk anak-anak SD, SMP gitu. Itu di situ sudah terakomodir semuanya, dan itu sebenarnya jadi anak-anak tidak lagi membawa buku, tapi mereka membaca buku di situ, memecahkan masalah-masalah, soal-soal juga hanya melalui tab saja. Nah, itu sudah bisa secara online juga, dan ada penilaian juga. Kemarin kami juga ada berbincang-bincang dengan salah satu dunia usaha dan dunia industri. Mereka pun membuat kayak tes psikologi atau psikotes gitu, tapi tidak dengan soal-soal, tapi dengan permainan. Mereka membuat game. Setelah selesai setiap orang menyelesaikan games itu, langsung keluar nanti bagaimana kepribadian dia, bagaimana hal-hal yang menarik, hal-hal yang kurang, kelebihannya apa, itu sudah ada game-game seperti itu. Jadi mungkin ini juga bisa ada jadi tantangan ya untuk UNESA juga. Nanti mungkin yang dari Fakultas Teknologinya mungkin dengan Fakultas Pendidikannya bisa berkolaborasi untuk menciptakan itu, karena sekarang di luar sudah banyak itu yang punya teknologi-teknologi seperti itu untuk pengajaran, dan mereka yang memproduksi waktu itu. Jadi banyak sekali kecanggihan-kecanggihan teknologi yang akhirnya lebih memudahkan dan memurahkan sebenarnya ini untuk pendidikan. Jadi bisa banyak kok contoh-contohnya sekarang, itu sudah sangat bermanfaat sekarang sebenarnya. Mungkin itu Bu Wulan.
Oke, baik, terima kasih Pak Yudil. Jawabannya sudah jelas ya. Ya, tadi ada yang bertanya, ini dari Sumatera malah ya.
Oh, dari Sumatera ya.
Iya. Mungkin satu kepulauan ya dengan Pak Yudil ya.
Iya, iya.
Iya. So we can use the games, right? The games for early childhood education, for kids learning, and they can explore maybe using the tab, the devices, and also in industrial world for the psychological test, right? So no need to read or fill some form, but directly use a game. So
they play the games,
so it's become a gamification education, right? Yeah. All right. So thank you so much, Pak Yudil. And maybe a question for Fadil. Mr. Fadil? Mr. Fadil?
Yeah, hello.
Yeah. We have a question for you. Someone from Pakistan asked, how to be a YouTuber? So it's very simple question. How to be a YouTuber, and in the meantime, you're also still a student.
Okay. So how I manage my time when at the same time I am a student and also a YouTuber in China. So yeah, of course, we know how we divide, how we manage our time every day. Yeah, so when I have class, I go to the class, and if I have spare time, I go travel around my campus to find or to shoot some video. So I edit it, I post it. So because if you ask how to be a YouTuber, how to begin to be a YouTuber, of course, if you like videography, if you like YouTube, absolutely you have to know first which uh, which kind of video do you love to make on YouTube. Like me, I make a video. I love to traveling. I love to share or discuss or interview some of my friends to share about scholarship, about education. So the first one, before you start your own channel, YouTube channel, you should to know which one I have to do, uh, gaming or cover. Yeah, after that, yeah, of course, by doing it, you should every day learn something new. You need to figure out, edit it step by step. You need to emphasize, you need to make your channel more creative day by day. You cannot start at that line when you start your own channel. That's it.
Yes. All right. So there is the second question again for you.
Yeah.
So someone, yeah, from Indonesia, yeah, from Sulawesi, yeah, asking how to make a mood booster. So how to boost your mood. So when you as a YouTuber and also in the meantime, you also still study, and how to ignore all the distractions that come to you.
Yeah, I know. Uh, of course, for me, it's I prefer to love to shoot the video. I love to shoot the video every day. I bring my own camera. I bring my own smartphone. I shoot the video. A lot of video on my laptop. Still the basic video, but I don't edit it yet. Why? Because the problem for YouTuber or for editor, motivation to edit the video. It's easy to shoot the video. Just take your camera, just take your smartphone, click open it, and you shoot the video. But the problem is you need the big motivation to edit the video, to make it a long video, a good video, a good content, and then post it on YouTube. So how I face that moment, of course, if I start with my ideas, I open YouTube, I watch my favorite channel like Chandra Liao or something else. I got the mood from his video, because sometimes when I watch the funny video, the comedy video, I got a good mood, and then I got an idea, and then I continue to edit the video. Yeah, so that's the problem for editor that I feel. Yeah, so lebih gampang merekam video daripada mengedit. Jadi so teman-teman tahu, di laptop saya sangat banyak video yang belum saya edit. Kenapa? Karena motivasi untuk mengeditnya yang sangat susah. So yeah, you should find your own motivation. Maybe like me, I watch a funny video, or I watch my favorite channel YouTube. But for you, you can know by yourself.
Yeah. Right. So yeah. So yeah, I think that's all the question for you. So is it clear, right? Yeah. Okay. So maybe if there is any question, maybe they can ask directly to your by your contact person, right? Yeah. So now we are going to the third speaker, yeah, from Kurdistan, Iraq, Mr. Broa Aziz Sidi. Mr. Broa, are you there?
Yeah, I am. Thank you very much, Ms.
Yeah.
Wulan.
Yeah. Okay. So how are you?
Yeah, thank you very much. Shall I start?
Yeah. So
All
sure.
right. Happy Eid to everyone. And I am really curious about the participant. I wish they could open their camera, because when they open the camera, communication much easier. And you can simply convey your message, what is in your mind, so simply they can get what we are saying. Anyway, happy Eid, and I hope those 3 days spend a great time in Eid. And thank you, Ms. Ulan, and thank you for all the speakers. I'm really happy, and hello everyone from Iraq or Kurdistan. So to begin with, can I start, because since we have only 15 minutes, and then we can
sure.
Spend the time for question
Sure.
if they have a question.
So,
all right, thank you very much, Ms. Wulan. I think
you can
I
share your
cannot.
screen,
I
or
cannot
all
share.
right. So our committee will help you.
Yeah, because the power went off. Maybe that was the reason why I cannot share. Because I want to share my PPT, Ms. Wulan, please. All right, thank you. I think I can't. Yeah, I can. I'll share it just right now. Sorry, took your time. All right.
It's okay.
Yeah, that is great.
Yeah.
All right. By the way, thank you for the brief introduction. Out of 4 pages, you just choose one sentence. You say he is a legal translator. Oh, that is my, my second or hobby job. When during summertime, I usually go to the court and to translate, legal stuff. Anyway, thank you very much. So, can you see the full screen, right?
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much. So today in this session, before that, such a seminar or conference like that would be very fruitful for not only for the student, but also for us, especially since it is an international conference, so we can exchange ideas. So in today's topic, I'm going to talk about teaching online, or I would share my experience with you guys. So I may ask you, the participant, to get involved. So please get ready. And because I have some questions for the participant, because they seem like they are very quiet and they are silent, and I don't like, I usually like interactive classes. So anyway, all right, so let's see that chat, someone. Okay, all right. Can you see the slide, please? The slide is available, right? Can you see the slide, please?
Yep, we can see.
All right, thank you very much. So for some of you, it's quite, new to teaching online, and some of you quite familiar. So, but to be honest, like nothing really substitutes for the face-to-face instructions or learning. That is quite different online, quite different on campus, let's say. So as you know, COVID-19 struck us without any warning and left head, of all educational institutions. But in the same time, it has also created a need to creatively deal with the situation. So particularly in education or teaching online. Nevertheless, we might want to, or we might view online teaching as, as a normal part of any curriculum, but it seems overly simplistic to just sit back and relax, assuming that the job is to be well done. But there are really a serious challenge to quality and effectiveness in online learning for every kind of levels, whether it is kids or adult. So let me, sorry. I cannot find my, sorry. I'm sorry.
Galuh atau host mungkin bisa bantu untuk sharing, untuk share screen.
Can you see the screen right now? I'm going to.
No, we cannot. No.
Okay, and what about
yeah,
that?
yeah.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, so as I said, here we have a serious challenge in online teaching. Okay, so for today, we have some aims to offer solutions to some challenge in online teaching. So I engage in online, activities. I'm going to share some activities and suggestions to help children to develop whether they're English, any kind of skills. Okay, so please, I will be asking you to participate, to get involved. Please, guys, tell me what is your biggest challenge. Please write just number. Which one is your favorite, biggest challenge? Sorry, I mean your biggest challenge, not favorite. Please just write a number, and I want to see your. Oh, sorry. I want to see your problem during online cheating, online teaching. All right, number 6. All right. Sorry, let me share again. Oh my God. Okay, yeah. So please, number 6, like in-person interaction. All right, and what else? Number 2. Number 2. Great. Okay, great. That is great. 6, 6. Seems like number 6 and 2. Sometimes 3. All right. So, I can't in. All right, great. Sorry. All right, and definitely in one session, I cannot, or we cannot describe all the. Sorry. We cannot describe all the challenge during online teaching, but definitely I'm going to touch the most important thing during online teaching. But I think there is a problem, Ms. Hulan, with whether it is internet or my slide or what. Okay, so as I said, we are going to focus on some points. First, I would like to start with this challenge. All right, so activities take longer to prepare and teach. All right, guys, so the idea is very simple. So here is my suggestion. Adapt free lesson plan. So what should we do? Usually when we teach on campus, and any kind of activity may take 10 minutes. While it comes to online, it takes maybe 15 minutes. So that is one of the problems. So overall, you will not have, enough time to get done all your job. So saving time in an online teaching can be a huge lifesaver. So simply the idea, adapting free lesson plan, you can simply take out, any kind of material from, we have plenty of websites on internet, whether it is Google or BBC, so such Cambridge online as well. So simply you can just make it adapt free lesson plan. And I'm trying to provide examples for each, slides or strategies. For example, if you want to teach, let's say pronouns, so simply take out the picture or let's say any kind of materials you want to have online. So simply just like that. This is one of my experience when I teach kids. So if you want to teach vocabulary, let's say, so it's simply you can bring a picture and, let's say what is FL or TRGR. So this is simply, you can interact with the students. All right, so another, let's say, challenge or which is related with the first point, activities take longer. So choose time efficient feedback. So simply, we have usually kids love one thing, which is annotating. What should we do? We have to give feedback. So what is feedback basically? Feedback is giving or offer evaluation. So you can't, it's not just one-time process. It is it's not only one-time event. It is, genuinely this is a process. You continually give a feedback to the students, because you have to know where is your students at, their levels, they are, uh, paying attention to the class. So simply, if you want to give feedback to save time as well and to always give a feedback, you have to simply copy and paste the answer and then share your screen. And then the second one, which is annotate the question. So, but we have also consider 2 points, which is offer continuing support and then be timely, because we don't have enough time to be always giving feedback. It should be a prepared one and then share on the screen. And also remember about feedback, it may left in and very a negative feeling to the especially for kids. So that is why I said annotate is one of the best way to give a feedback for the student, especially kids. All right, so guys, and then there is another question for you. Do you have a time-saving tips? I'm sorry if I asking question too much, but as English says, 3 heads better than 2 heads. So I can learn more ideas, get more ideas from you. So please type it in the chat. Do you have a time saving? Just in one word, please tell me what is your tips to having a saving time, to have a saving time. Please write in the chat, please. 30 seconds only. How we can save time during online teaching. Very well, make a schedule. Thank you, that is great. Manage the time, all right. Okay. So basically it's about managing time. All right, thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. It's stuck. Maybe because I'm from Iraq and it's very far. That is why sometimes, I don't know, it's getting stuck, the screen. I'm sorry. All right, we got another one. Manage my time and make good schedule. All right, great, got the idea. Thank you very much. So then the second part, which is I think most of you wrote in the chat, children get distracted. Definitely, many, like almost every children can get almost distracted by almost everything. Whether it is, toys in the room, pupil, siblings, noises, so any kind of things, kids could be, get distracted. So what should we do when children get distracted and feel they don't want to, they don't like to listen to you, for example? So first of all, give children a physical task. This is one of the best way to give a physical, for what? For break from the screen. When they break from the screen, they will definitely love that class. And in the meantime, it is fun and peer checking as well. So for example, you can use show me. For example, show me your, let's say, your pencil, show me your book. So hand clap, if, for example, hands up, hands down, or you can use a flashcard. So hold up something that is, for example, so you can use all of these strategies and ideas while children in the class and listening to you. So this is one of the suggestion, but Please, I need to know your ideas. How do you grab? Do you have any strategies, your tips? How do you grab your students' attention online? Please write in the chat.
Mr. Broa, sorry.
Yes.
5 minutes less.
All right. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Please, how do you grab your students' attention online? Please type it in the chat. Only 30 seconds. What is your idea? By asking questions. Well done. Thank you. That is nice. Ask each other and call them randomly. All right. Great. Great. Call the name. All right. Call the names. Yeah, I usually do that when I have a online class. Give us, yeah, sing a song. Let's say thank you. Asking WH questions, Ms. Sivan. Yeah, thank you. Very nice. Providing dance together. Yeah, that is very nice. Make a dance together. Great. Providing instruction. Well done. Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much. So here are my tips. Sing a song, as one of you, Ms. Mulan, mentioned, and showing a cake, or let's say a food, doing conversation with them. Yeah, thank you very much. Actually, sing a song and showing a cake, watch an animation, which is, I really want to share one thing with you guys, but I don't know if we have enough time. Anyway, so here are my strategies or the tips when you teach children. Pictionary is very important. Creativity, and then stand up, physical task, and then sing a song, and as I said, showing a cake, which is very important. All right. Here are some activities you can do it with the kids during online class. First thing, this is find this. You can add more any activities you in one picture. Find similarities or differences in one picture. So here is one of the good activity to in order to the students or the kids will not get distracted. And then the second one, spy with your eyes. So please find something start or begin with C or B, with which, for example, A. There's another activity, and then you can do a games, snakes and ladder as well. And then this is another activity you can use it for writing or vocabulary. And then one point about a challenge during online and is supportive home learning activities for parents, which you can do let's say online meeting with the parents, and then conference meeting, daily routine with the parents, and tell the parent that you have to do this is your responsibility. You have to care about the children. All right, and then the last point, I find myself speaking too much. All right, in order to fix this problem, this is a kind of solution. You can do breakout rooms or let the student lead. And then we have another solution to whole class. You can divide it, for groups or pair work, for example. And then just one thing which is quite important to me, please, for all the teachers, turn your statement into questions and promote. So stop repeating yourself. Stop asking, the students, please, did you understand? Do you understand? What is this? No, just one time is enough. And then turn your statement into questions. Like, instead of asking, does that make any sense? And then you can say, can you put that in your own words? So this is one of the best strategy for all kind of levels that you can use it. And I think this is my presentation. Thank you so much. But I want to share one small thing, which is if we have time, Ms. Bolan. Just 1 second.
All right.
To share, yeah, thank you very much. Okay, so here is one of my experience while I teach children. They, as I said, they like Pictionary. So, for example, we have, I prepared this. We want to teach vocabulary, in the meantime, grammar. So, cat, this is a cat, for example. Then you can use these kind of words: sat, hat, cat, and then fat. then this is going to, grab their attention. So thank you very much. If you have questions, I am very, more delighted to take your questions. Thank you very much.
Yep. Thank you so much, Mr. Broa. It's you give us the information about how to teach kids, yeah, in this pandemic by online platform. And we have a question.
Sure.
We have a question from Thailand.
Well, welcome.
Yeah. So the question is, how to manage the crowded class when you still teach online? Yeah, because sometimes we're having trouble.
Very great question. So that is why if we speak in terms of class, let's say international class should be having students not more than, let's say, 10 students. Otherwise it will be a chaos. So, and I think how you manage this class, if it is too much, you have to break out the room, like do work in a group or pair work. So I think that is the only point and the answer I can give it to you. But as I said, class should be not more than 10 students. I hope he or she got the answer.
Yeah. So we have to manage our participants, our students, not more than 10, right?
Definitely.
Yeah, so thank you. And the second question we have also. Yeah. We have from Indonesia, from Surabaya.
Salute to all Surabaya.
Yeah. So how to make everyone understand this English. It's not difficult to learn. Yeah, because especially from Indonesia, this is not the second language. Yeah, this is our foreign language. So how to reshape the people mindset about that? Thank you.
So I didn't exactly get the question. Can you just summarize the question, please?
Yeah. So how to change the people perspective? Yeah, people perspective that English is difficult to learn.
All right. So every language actually is difficult if you want to learn. For example, right now I'm learning Arabic language. It's quite difficult. Even Iraq is, let's say, is an Arabic country, but because we are in Kurdistan and we don't speak Arabic, we speak Kurdish. So, but still, even let's say Iraq or Syria or let's say Saudi Arabia, those countries is Arabic, but they are still very difficult for us. So what about English, which is, if we look at the family of, the three language of the family of three language, it is quite, but if your question or their question mean to how we learn English or how we, let's say, think or change our perspective is English is important, of course, because English is the language of science, computer, and technology. So these stuff, that is why if you want to learn and you think it is important, you have to change the mindset and then, try to learn more and practice as much as you can in your daily life. So, and then I don't know if he or she got the answers, but I hope you got, some benefits from the presentation. Ms. Ulan, we have some questions in the chat.
Yeah. We still have two questions.
Yes, sure. I would be more happy to take your questions, but here it says, Ajin, sorry if I mispronounce the Indonesian names. I may ask, how do you think that all of kids cannot join the class in the same time? Because any reason? Before you start any classes, you have to speak to their parents, and then you have to introduce your classes, your time, and change that mindset that online class is, let's say, equal to on face-to-face teaching. Especially for kids, it's very difficult to teach them technology. These are not only the challenge during online class. Of course, we have more than these points. For example, I know some, teachers, not students, teachers, they don't know how to use, let's say, they don't know how to use computer. They don't know how to use PPT, how to create a beautiful slides. So this is one of the reasons before we have start any online classes, we should have a kind of orientation for the teachers, and then teach the teachers, let's say educator, tell the students that here are some curriculum that is because we don't know suddenly every kind of emergency case, as Mr. Fazil mentioned in his slide. We have emergency case. So here there is another question: what should we do for those teachers? They are not willing to change. So this is one of the problem with during teaching online classes. So I hope you got that answer as well. Samara, yeah, Samra is interesting. Thank you very much. I would say it's not only students who face this challenge, exactly, but also teacher. Exactly what exactly as I said, especially in COVID-19 pandemic, they also have to take care. Exactly. Thank you very much. That is a very great point. And then I'd like to ask, how would you build your student motivation to learn English for effort? As I know that they are motivated.
All right, Mr. Broa.
Yes.
Yeah,
please.
I'm sorry. Maybe you just cannot choose one because
Sure.
of the time we
Sorry,
have.
I took much more time, and this is not,
Yes.
as I said earlier, it's not a class for 15
Yeah.
minutes.
Yeah.
This is very, a very important subject.
Yeah.
So I wish we can have more, seminars, conferences to talk about more in the next conference, hopefully.
Yeah. So
Thank you very much.
probably, yeah. So probably participant can directly add your contact person, right? Your contact
Definitely, you
number.
can.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
ask directly to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right. We
Sorry
apologize.
if I didn't answer all the questions properly.
Yeah.
Thank you
Yeah.
very
It's
much.
okay.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
It's okay,
Thank you.
Mr. Broa. Yeah. So thank you so much for all the questions, but we apologize for the time. And now the last session, the last session, but not the least, from Bangladesh, Mr. Sainur. Mr. Sainur?
Can you hear me, Ulan?
Yeah, I can hear you clearly. So
Okay.
now, can
you help me to share my PPT?
All right. Komite, panitia bisa bantu share untuk PPT-nya Mr. Sainur. Yeah, Mr. Sainur.
Yes.
Yeah. Now I think you can share. Yeah, so we can see clearly.
Can you see my PPT?
Yeah, we can see.
Okay. Thank you, everybody. And I am very happy to be here. And a special thanks to Ulan to invite me to this program, and also my other friends from Iraq, Indonesia, and other countries. And actually, my topic is to how to deal with mental health issue on online learning in COVID-19 pandemic. So actually, now we all are discussing about the positive technology during this COVID-19 situation. But my topics is actually the negative part of the COVID-19 situation. Actually, each technology has some positive things and have also some negative things. So if we abruptly use any technology and if we misuse the technology, that has the negative effect. So I just share with you some ideas we actually deal with the mental health issues online learning COVID-19 pandemic. So let's begin. So actually what I will share with you, these are my outlines. Actually, I just simply brief the impact of COVID-19 on education and online learning become actually popular, these things. And finally, I will share how mental health issues arising from online learning can be handled. So let's begin. So this is the picture of the world. In this, this data taken from UNESCO. Here, what we can see here that more than 1.6 billion students affected due to COVID-19 pandemic, directly affected over the world. And for this effect, so let's a small look to some countries' newspaper, actually how they see the impact in their views. For example, here, see, this is Zimbabwe Delhi, the lecture ban at higher learning institution. So they are actually banning this. So COVID-19 banning the physical lecture. And see, this is the Guardian newspaper, it's Australian. Almost half of Australian PhD students considering disengaging from studies due to pandemic. And this is the South Africa newspaper. The higher education department reallocated to COVID-19 activities. And another universities want to deal, it's like New Zealand newspaper from New Zealand. Universities want to deal on student quarantine requirements. So this is another website for Helsinki University. Actually, they recommend remote teaching and supervision is recommended instead of physical teaching. And in Uganda, Ministry of Education agreed to implement online learning for university students. And here another African tradition, university turn to online learning as pandemic countries. So from all over the world news, we can gauge what's the impact of COVID-19 to the education system. So it actually make us bound to use online instead of physical classroom, because we cannot stop learning, right? So let's see. My previous speaker is nicely presented their presentation, and in their presentation we learn how online teaching can be provided using technology, modern technology. So here the picture actually this new technology give us the opportunity to take online class or online learning despite having the pandemic situation. This pandemic situation, most of the student cannot go out from home. They are in lockdown situation. They stay in home. They need to learn from home. So the online keep open the door for learning. My previous speaker described it well. So again, Samar, summarize that 1.6 billion students affected, about 70% student of the world affected by this pandemic situation. So we cannot stop learning. We cannot, because we need to continue our education. Since November 2019, our education system affected and stopped since then. But we need to continue our education, right? And so alternatively, we use this technology. We adjust with this situation, right? So here, maintaining, we can maintain social distancing, and this keep open the route of learning and save time, save life, but keep learning. So, and others facilities already is spoken by other speakers. So I directly goes to the main point. So this one picture, you can see, this is the one student learning, online learning. It's a Beijing, it's a picture taken from Beijing. And this picture taken from my country. Actually, my country also have a similar type of effect. One university student taking his online classes through his computer. And here's another student, he also taking note from online class by his mobile. So actually the online class is now, and online learning is now became very popular and essential during this time. So, but we have to conscious about our mental health issues. Mental health issues are the negative part of the online learning. So we have to aware about these mental health issues. So I, in one article presented in 9th Annual International Conference of Educational Research and Innovation, then one researcher named Halupa. In his article, he showed that if we use excessive use of online learning and we use spend much time on online learning, that actually decrease the social skill. And also, obviously, it's also the monotonous, and it's also had an effect on our cognitive function. So how it's gonna affect cognitive function? Actually, when so much information come to our sensory, it's actually hard for a human to process the information properly. And it's actually decreased the creativity. One of our speaker explained, actually, with this time, the pandemic situation, we can use increase our creativity. But if we use excessive use of this online learning, we depend on online learning, excessive use, that decrease our creativity. And also it's affect our brain function, and as a result, concentration problem and attention problem may be arise, because screen time increase, and that will affect anxiety, depression, and attention problem. And Halupa also mentioned that there is a high chance of cyberbullying. This cyberbullying, because we all students in our class online. We are attending online classes, and we also attending all the time to Facebook media, others online learning material. So here is a high chance to be engaged more time, and there is a high chance to be sexual exploitation, and sexualized image can be spread and also humiliated other student by other student. So there is a high chance of cyberbullying. And also one study showed, it actually given by this research done by scientists of Berkeley universities. Actually, Galupa summarized this and tell that there is online learning have effect on sleep habit, and sleep affect our learning outcome. So if we see deprivation caused the deficit in our prefrontal cortex, and there's the cause for the concentration and attention problem. So I think all these causes are directed to or lead to severe psychological problem. So let's see another article. Actually, it's Bonnie Bear in 2014. He published this article. In that article, he mentioned and found that 12% of students have psychiatric problem. So think that all 12%. So what are those problems? So clinical depression, mood disturbance, attention difficulties, bipolar disorder, behavioral problem, anxiety disorder, schizophrenia, and student short-term adjustment problem due to grief, which is related to grief and traumatic events, substance use, abuse, or life stress. So these are the psychological problem may arises to excessive use of online learning or use. So if we aware about all those psychological problems, then we can prevent it. We can balance it. Then we can control in this situation. So next, I will just share with you that actually who can involve to deal with these mental health problems. So here, I think first, government. I think government has important role.
Mr. Sainur?
Yes.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, you have a 5 minute last.
Okay, I about to finish.
Yeah.
The government need to make policy online. That actually told by one of the speaker that actually government has to make some policies to accommodate the online learning, and also government can make policies about misuse and fraudulent use of online learning, and also the predatory site. So government make some policies, and that will prevent mental health problem firstly. And also government information technology industry. Government can contact with information technology industry to make an agreement to use some technology, for example, Zoom, Skype. For example, in our country, our government already contact with one organization, IT organization named BDREN. So BDREN, what was done, they actually contact with the Zoom authority and make it available for all university free. So this type of facility actually only possible by government. So to deal mental health issue, we also need to include the IT information industry. And of course, the university and school, because they are the authority. So school and can ensure safeguard policies and promote and monitor good online behavior, school-based counseling service. So that's the very important thing. And of course, teacher have a great role here, because the teacher can engage all the students and make the lecture fun. One of our our Buddhist speakers, he already mentioned, explain it details there, that if we are able to engage the student to our class, actually that will reduce our mental health problem. And of course include fun and monitor student behavior. And second, parents. So parents has another role. So can parents ensure and the device software for his children, and also monitor how and whom to communicate the student, whom to communicate with the online. So they can monitor it, and that will be reduce the mental health problem. And of course use the safety measures, can take safety measures. And another, of course, student, because students need to schedule their time and also avoid school works before going to bed, and of course virtually connect with the friend. virtually connected with the classmate or friends, because this is very helpful for the dealing mental health. And another important thing is the mental health education. Mental health education for teachers, parents, and students, because all the teachers and parents are not aware about actually mental health problem, which arises in the classroom. So if mental health education give to teachers, parents, and students, so they can aware about it and they can balance the mental health problems. At the same time, they can control over this situation. So another thing is self-help service. So this self-help service for the student, because sometimes student aware about the mental health problems, and he or she have the access to the self-help service to the website of the university, uh, uh, where provided the information. With the help of those information, a student can handle his problem by himself or herself. If he fails to handle this situation, then he can take online counseling service. And these mental health education, self-help service, and online counseling must be provided by university or school authorities. So I think this model will help all to deal mental health issue of online learning. And finally, I just give one thing, that how teachers can identify their student in the online learning system. So it's briefly last thing. It's if any teacher feel that his student being disruptive to the class, so that's the problem. Another, he can monitor his poor attendance, lack of presence in the online discussion, falling asleep in the class, and failing to complete assignment at work in time, and failure to respond to email or phone calls. So if any teacher found these are the problem, found any student, so he or she maybe have some psychological problem, and he directly contact with the student by phone or and discuss with the problem. If he able to handle this situation or help the student manage the problem, it's okay, fine. But if he fail to deal the problem, he or she can refer the student to a counseling service of the university. So that's all. And if I summarize this, so that's all, Ulan. So because of due to time constraint, I cannot explain much thing.
Yeah. All right. So thank you so much, Mr. Sainur. So we have to collaborate with all the elements, right, by the government, school,
Yes,
and
yes.
counseling services, right? So we can, so we can through these mental health issues, together, right? Yeah, we can pass, and we can overcome mental health issues, especially on students. Yeah.
Right.
So thank you so much. We have a question from Pakistan, from Samra. During the pandemic COVID-19, how poor mental health of school and university students can be treated with reference to psychological perspective?
I already mentioned actually how can we trace those problems. In my presentation, I actually showed already that if actually this is the problem in the physical, when the student directly contact with the teacher, teacher can easily identify the student's behavior, disruptive behavior. But in online, it's hard to identify. So the technique is different during this online learning, actually, which I mentioned in my presentation, that these are the signs I already told. If any student have disruptive to the online class and have poor attendance, So that means the student have some psychological problem. At the same time, the student failing to complete the assignment in time. So that is the one of the sign of the disruptive psychological problem. Actually, it is hard for a teacher to identify because teachers are not the counseling psychologists, right? They just only can identify the sign of the problem, and then they have refer the student to the counselor, and counseling psychologist will handle the situation. So this is I think, I hope, Ulan, you got my answer.
Yeah. So I think Samra also from Pakistan,
Yes.
she got what from your explanation. Yes. So I think just only one question. So thank you so much, Mr. Steiner. Probably for all the questions that we still cannot respond now, maybe we can share the contact person for of all of you, all the speakers, to the WhatsApp group of the participants, and they can directly communicate with you all. Yeah, so thank you so much for join with us and give us insightful and very thoughtful information and knowledge about the technology usage during pandemic, and it can be the positive impact in our life as a student, parent, and also as a teacher. So thank you so much, Mr. Fadil, Mr. Broa, Mr. Sainur, and Mr. Yudil. Thank you so much for your participating, and we hope you still can engage with us in the next webinar series of UNESA, Universitas Negeri Surabaya. So don't be bored with us. Yeah. All right. So for the next session, maybe I need to remind all of you, you can fill the form for get the certificate in each WhatsApp group that already provided by our committee. So make sure you already fill up all the feedback and presents, and you can get the certificate. And make sure also for your email, because many mistakes we found before in other international webinar. Someone or some of you maybe make a mistake for the email. I think all we already through this session, and for the closing, I return to our MC, Galuh. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Wulan, and all our expert speakers for the amazing presentations and discussion. Distinguished guests, participants, ladies and gentlemen, we have had inspiring time together, and this event about to come to an end. I would like to remind you to fill the attendance list and feedback on the link shared on our WhatsApp group to get your certificate. Tidak lupa saya ingatkan kepada peserta untuk mengisi daftar hadir dan feedback melalui link yang akan kami bagikan di grup WhatsApp untuk mendapatkan sertifikat. To close this webinar, I would like to now call upon Dr. Muhammad Nursalim, MPD, as the Dean of Faculty of Education to present us with the closing speech and ceremony. Kepada Bapak Dr. Muhammad Nursalim, dipersilahkan.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Bapak, Ibu, dan para hadirin yang terhormat, alhamdulillah kami telah mencapai akhir seminar internasional dengan tema teknologi positif bagi keluarga-keluarga selama penyebaran virus COVID-19. Dan ini adalah tugas saya untuk memberikan penutup. Ini adalah hak istimewa dan kehormatan yang dipercayakan dengan tugas seperti ini dalam sebuah pengumpulan orang-orang terkemuka dari berbagai latar belakang dan berbagai bidang. Atas nama panitia dan penyelenggara seminar, saya ingin mengucapkan terima kasih kepada semua yang telah berkumpul di sini dari berbagai negara di seluruh dunia atas kerjasama Anda yang telah memungkinkan kami untuk mengadakan konferensi yang sangat produktif ini. Seperti semua peristiwa dan seminar ini telah menjadi contoh yang menonjol. Pikiran kita telah dipenuhi oleh arus pemikiran, informasi, statistik, interpretasi, dan penglihatan. Isu-isu utama yang dibahas dalam seminar kali ini adalah yang pertama, memaksimalkan kreativitas para kaum muda dalam masa pandemi. Yang kedua, belajar berbahasa Inggris selama masa pandemi. Yang ketiga, memahami trauma yang terjadi pada anak-anak selama masa pandemi. Dan yang keempat, mengetahui cara pembelajaran selama masa pandemi. Semua masalah-masalah yang sangat penting karena krisis pandemi COVID-19 yang sedang kita hadapi, ini merupakan tantangan yang sangat luar biasa bagi bangsa Indonesia dan semua negara di dunia. Seperti yang telah kita ketahui, COVID-19 telah menginfeksi jutaan orang di seluruh dunia dan telah menelan korban ratusan atau bahkan ribuan nyawa. Penyebarluasan virus COVID-19 berkaitan erat dengan lamanya karantina dan lockdown yang harus dilakukan oleh semua warga negara. Tanpa disadari, karantina, lockdown, ini merupakan tidak hanya mempengaruhi sektor kesehatan, tapi juga berdampak pada kehidupan sehari-hari, berdampak juga pada sektor pendidikan dan kesehatan mental kita. Harapan saya, berdasarkan pada hubungan yang telah ditegakkan melalui konferensi ini, di masa depan kita akan dapat menanggapi berbagai isu secara bersama-sama, sehingga kita memiliki kesamaan dalam mencapai tujuan bersama. Sekali lagi, atas nama panitia dan penyelenggara seminar, saya ingin menyatakan apresiasi saya kepada semua peserta untuk meluangkan waktu dan tugas-tugas Anda yang sibuk untuk menghadiri seminar ini, dan untuk semua organisasi yang telah mengirimkan pembicara yang sangat baik dan menakjubkan dalam seminar ini. Mereka adalah Master Fadil, MED, PhD, Mr. Bra Aziz Siddiq, MED, dari Smeo Sesep, Mr. Syahinur Rahman, dan saya ingin menutup acara ini dengan resmi dengan ucapan semoga semuanya bahagia, sejahtera. Terima kasih. Selamat siang. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Yeah.
Thank
So
you.
maybe before the closing time, we're gonna invite all of you to take a picture first. Yeah. So a committee maybe can help to take a picture for every slide. So may I ask your smile, please? And maybe for all the participants need to on the video. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So please turn on your video. So let us make the good moment. Yeah. So are you ready? Yeah. So please say cheese.
Cheese.
Apple.
Okay. Okay. So now next slide. Yeah. For the next slide, I think there is, yeah, only one video on. So would you mind to on all the video, please? Bisakah untuk turn on videonya? Yeah, okay. So, ready? Yeah. All right, thank you. So, next slide. Okay. Yeah, now the third slide. Yeah, and the last slide. Okay, done. Yeah. Thank you so much for all of you. I return again to MC Galuh.
Now I will leave you with a quote by Stuart Brand, an author and innovative thinker who once said, "We can see the past but not influence it. We can influence the future but not see it." Let us all be guided by all the things we have learned and heard throughout the conference and be able to see and influence our future. Thank you, thank you, thank you very much. And before we part, please accept the first for us. Kalau ada jarum yang patah, jangan disimpan di dalam peti. Kalau ada silap dan salah, harap sudi memaafkan kami. Which roughly means, please forgive us for our shortcomings. Till we meet again, perhaps in the next conference, may all of you stay safe and healthy. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Yeah, Waalaikumsalam.
Thank you very much. Thank you. We really appreciate that. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
Yes,
and
thank you so much for all of you, Mr. Bua,
Very glad to
Mr.
meet you, to
Yudo,
know you all. Thank you.
yeah,
Thank
Mr.
you very
Sainur,
much.
and Fadil. Thank you so much.
Ulam, thank you.
Yeah, so see you in the next webinar.